your girl, Big Riz.
It's Nay Connected.
And it's T. And we are back. This is episode what?
5.
Wow. Episode 5.
Oh.
And we finally on the visual. We got the visual with the episode 5.
Yeah, they were more ready for the visual than I was. I ain't
Well,
I thought it was gonna be about episode 10-ish.
Well,
but here we are.
We gonna put our stuff out there and we're gonna improve over time, do our thing. But I feel like the visual, like people gotta see it. People gotta see it.
That's an affirmation for me to make sure I always feel beautiful.
Period. Because I told myself, girl, get yourself together before we start.
Look at me.
I just changed my shirt.
Full beat.
Full beat. Okay.
Makeup artist though. Makeup artist full beat.
Full beat.
Book
So that's why
I'm gonna put her booking. I'm gonna put her information
in
the description. Period.
All right now.
So this week, what are we talking about, ladies?
Intuition.
Intuition. I don't got none of my notes. I really didn't even take a lot of notes, but it's cool. I'm just gonna go off of y'all. So what y'all say gonna be triggering what I'm gonna say. So y'all just start for me, cause I definitely ain't got no intro for you. Do anybody got the definition?
Nope. But I was gonna say, I feel like some of the intuition stuff might sound semi-repetitive to some of the stuff about discernment because it's steps to it. Like,
and if you didn't hear that discernment,
it's really steps.
Go back to last week.
That was my reflection as I was thinking of like things that I might say on the podcast. So,
all right. Well, I wrote down. I said, "What is intuition to me?" And then I put down knowing and believing the first thoughts. And I put that because, and I went down because I'm like, when you think of like the first thought, you like, well, what are you talking about? Like, so I'm like, usually, and this is just in my experience, like usually when I'm going through something or if I'm met with obstacles or situations or things like that, then I'm hit with a first thought. Usually that first thought, that's my intuition. That second thought, that's my mind. That's my ego. That's my self-doubt. That's that coming, because that's the what if. That's the cons. Instead of looking at the pros because a pro and a con, I feel like are the same thing, because a con can really be a pro if you really think about it. So when you looking at that first instinct that you get, like say if you get hit with a situation and it's like, don't hit this girl.
I literally was thinking that in my head, like,
don't hit this girl. Yeah, that's it. And if you get that, don't hit this girl, or don't do that girl like you know you can do this girl dirty. Don't do that girl like that. Like, take that, and then that second one's. But if you do this, you already know what's gonna happen in the outcome. If you do know, you're gonna beat this girl up, or
you're gonna get in trouble.
Whop.
And you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, like you.
But sometimes your intuition might be what guides you to hit that.
Exactly.
Like,
that is
what?
thing.
Like, I'm just playing. But I did look up the definition. It says intuition. It's a noun. The ability to understand something immediately, as you said, without the need for conscious reasoning. We shall allow our intuition to guide us, is the little quote that it had. And then it says, a thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than conscious reasoning. Your insights and intuitions as a native speaker are positively sought.
That's why I said knowing and believing. Believing, because if you can know it and not believe, you can be like, oh yeah, and not believe shit. But when you believe it, it takes it turns into something totally different. It takes the whole definition and put it in depth, because you really have to believe it. Like when you getting up in the morning and you saying those affirmations in the mirror, you just can't. You can be saying, I am beautiful.
Right.
I am beautiful. I am worthy. But you can also be standing there like on Insecure with Issa Rae when she be talking, and you can literally see her passion. Like, bitch, you the motherfucking shit. You are worthy. You are worthy of the love.
Right. Your intuition is telling you, maybe I need to say this differently. Like, maybe when I'm talking, I'm not connecting with this, I am beautiful, I am this. It's not saying that that's not a good affirmation. Those are beautiful affirmations. Those are affirmations that are very, very powerful, okay? But to Taquandasia, she might need to be like, I'm the shit, bitch. I'm the shit, bitch. She might gotta tell herself that every day. You know what I'm saying? That's her more so. That's her more so. I am beautiful, or I am whatever. So that trusting that part of yourself, okay? Like when you hear something, right? Just like I am beautiful. If you hear that and it doesn't resonate with you how it needs to, then what does resonate with you? That's your intuition. That little thing that when you're asking yourself a question and something answers back, that's your intuition.
Your first voice.
That first voice, when you ask something and something answers you, now I know, look, I'm not tripping. I know y'all didn't ask something in your head and then heard something motherfucker talking back and it was not you. Now, if
I feel like we really just
don't put me in an insane asylum or nothing and think that I'm crazy and I hear voices or nothing like that. No. But I'm just saying that little voice inside of you, that is your intuition. You have to really, really, really allow your intuition to guide you, because who knows you better than yourself? And if somebody is sitting within you, ain't even somebody, if you have a view of you from inside of you, why wouldn't you trust that? If you have a view, if there is a body inside of you, or there is an energy or spirit inside of you that is able to give you insight on the emotions and feelings within you that you can't see yourself by looking at your body, you need to listen to that.
And if you want to take it a little step deeper, your body is your intuition. Your body,
it reacts.
Your body will tell you something before your mind can catch up to it. Your ego, your mind, before it can catch up to it. So, like that, like the next time you in a situation and you be in a situation and your body tense up, or your body, or you just instantly feel like your chest is getting a little heavy, or so. Pay attention to stuff like that, because usually 10 times out of 10, yes. I'm not even gonna say 9, 10 times out of 10. Something is on the way, something is coming, something it's your body warning you ahead of time, like I need you to
just right. Like animals, think about animals, how they migrate, like intuition told them the weather about to change, they go back, they go forth, they hibernate, they do whatever. That's their intuition. We are nothing but
they don't have clocks.
We are more logical, rational animals in a sense. So our body is gonna guide us like naturally. For example, not even just the bad shit or the scary shit. Sometimes it could be a good thing, like you looking for some information about yourself and something tells you to pick up this book or to go this way, or maybe you, like that time I was talking about, going down the road that's bad for you, going down the road that's good for you. You gonna go the same way you go to work every day normally, but on this one day you take your time and you like, nah, something just telling me to go by this store a certain way, and you might have dodged something that wasn't for you. Like,
absolutely,
it worked.
Or you didn't listen to that and then you went that way and then got into an accident or something.
Or either it's a
ran into
roadblock that's gonna take you 30 minutes to get to work and you mad because you ain't listened to yourself.
I feel like knowing your intuition helps you maneuver through the matrix.
Yes.
If you don't know, like if you don't trust yourself and trust that intuition, then you're gonna put yourself in a lot of situations that you definitely can avoid, definitely can take the route, like as if you're going to work. Some told me not to take the highway, and then you get to work and you don't take the highway, and you get to work, and then like you said, son, you look on there, it's a damn 3-car pile up, or you know what I'm saying, on the highway. It's like things like that. It helps you. I feel like when you start trusting yourself, it helps you maneuver through this thing. And I say matrix, but we call it life. But it helps you maneuver through it a little bit easier because you paying attention. You okay. I woke up this morning and I was just not feeling it. I need some time. And instead of just saying, well, I ain't got no time right now, I'm just going to accepting that, acknowledging it, I need some time. And taking some time. And giving myself some time. Like if I need to take the slow route to go to work the next day, then that's what I need to do to clear my mind before I get there, before I step into this. I need to clear my mind. So it's just really paying attention. And we ignore a lot of our intuition. We be ignoring it because we be so caught up in what we see and what we think in our perceptions we be so caught up in those that we ignore the intuition, and we I know I'm about to be with this man, and we about to have a family, and we gonna live this. I don't give a shit. My perception is so fucked up because he's doing all this shit. I might be doing all this shit on the side, but I don't give a fuck. My perception's fucked up. So it's just like, I feel like also that, you know, it plays a part in your intuition. So if your intention as well, if your attention is fucked up, then it clouds, it makes it blurry, it makes your intuition blurry, because if you moving on an ill intent, then your intuition is gonna move on an ill intent, if that makes sense in some type of way.
It's funny that you use The Matrix, because that, like, so people like hate or love The Matrix. Like, either you like the movies or you're like, I don't fucking understand that shit is weird, whatever. And I talked to y'all about this maybe last night. When you're able to see things, right? So your intuition is like, you know, being able to just know something, right? And with having access to your intuition, as you should, comes another part of your vision where you can see things using 3 eyes instead of 2. So your intuition kind of sparks or like opens up, awakens that eyeball for you to be able to see things. So if you're looking at The Matrix and you're only watching it with your 2 eyes, then you're not going to get it. It's over your head. It's like, this is not making sense, whatever. But when you watch certain things, and not just The Matrix, like there are things that you, and maybe anything, you need to watch them with this eye and not these 2. Because exactly what you just said is like in The Matrix, Neo, is that his name? Nico? He is, when you go into The Matrix, right, you literally have to plug in through your brain. But there are people that see what you see and can hey, my nigga, they coming right here. Hey, they're coming. I got you. You need to get out of there. That is your intuition. Okay? The people that are sitting there, but like, hey, you have, like, your intuition really, now that I'm thinking about it, because now that got me thinking. It can't just be like one thing, okay? Your intuition is a lot of different things. Like, you got parts of your intuition is like the institution. And then there are little people that work within your intuition that like help you. Like, maybe part of my intuition works in my hands. And part of my intuition works in my stomach. Right, that gut feeling that you be feeling or whatever. Some of my intuition works in my skin when I get chill bumps and certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So different parts can be activated, and that is very, very, like, when you said The Matrix, that instantly just boom popped in my head. That became more clear to me because I'm using my intuition right now and allowing whatever is just coming to me for me to just know that that's exactly what you need to know. And that's some things that, like, sometimes we hear people talking, like, you may hear this right now and what I just said, you didn't get from that what I just said, but you got something else from what I just said, or what Rissa just said, or what Nay just said. That's your intuition. That's your intuition, that interpretation, that little voice that says, oh, this is what she's saying. This is what they're saying. When you hear a song, you're like, oh, this is, y'all seen that? Okay, so Akbar had the little live with the African. Did you see that? It's on Instagram. I think the Shade Room maybe posted it. Akbar has a live with an African, and she's asking him the words to, what is the song by Burna Boy? Last something. Whatever. Last. I think that's the song. Oh, I don't have my phone. We're recording. I was going to say, I'll like play, because we can play 13 seconds and we don't have to pay for that. It's not copyright. But if you listen to that song, he says like, I need Ebo and Shayo. And at the beginning of the song, it's like, Shayo. You know, the little Tony Braxton sounding song. Now that you're trying to like sing it, I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, that song, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
It's just
right?
good energy.
But intuitively, we feel what he's talking about, even though we don't even know. We just like, damn, okay, I'm riding with this. This sounds like something I can rock with. So the African, she asking the African man, like, what do these words mean? Like, what do this mean? She like, he say this, he say this. He said, he said, you gonna get your heart broke. Like, that's what the whole song is about. Him being heartbroken. So at the beginning, he's saying, Shayo is smoking and Igbo is drinking. And I might have that backwards. It could be the other way. Igbo may be drinking, Shayo may be whatever. But that makes sense for him to be saying that, right? In the song, if that's what the song is about. Because, and you're drinking and you're smoking because, like, you're hurt. He's heartbroken. So the song is really like a heartbroken song. Here we go over here like.
I literally just said it was good energy.
But you know what? What do you do when, like, you're heartbroken? You maybe need to hear a song that's like that. So some slow songs or maybe sad songs that okay, you break up with your man and you play, since we want to talk about Toni Braxton, that song, it was He Wasn't Man Enough to Me. That's the song that he even used. Mm-hmm. So think about that. That's not a slow song. You can jam to that song, right? You could be heartbroken, but hear that song and you feel it, right? So intuitively, we felt the song not just because we felt the song, was because we could relate to it, even though we didn't understand what he was saying to us. So sometimes, even though we don't understand things, right? We just know something is something. And we just know this is what I'm supposed to do, even if I don't really understand why I'm supposed to do it. Like, I'm supposed to jump out there. I'm supposed to take this leap. I don't even know why. I don't even understand why. But something inside of me telling me that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm rocking with. So shit, I'm about to rock with it.
I feel like another thing that our bodies just be telling us when it comes to intuition too, is like people. Like, you know, you could go in a room and you don't know nobody in there, but you walk across the energy and you be like, something ain't right. Like, and you got to get the fuck away from it. You don't know why. And then later on down the line in life, it could be the next week, it could be the next month, it could be 3 years from later. You either hear that person did some crazy shit, or they either had an energy towards you or somebody that you love. That, you get what I'm saying? Like, you never be knowing. One time I literally had a supervisor. Yes. I literally had a supervisor that was like, none of us could fill him out, but we all knew it was some weird shit going on. And it came out after he stopped being our supervisor that it was like the craziest stuff in the world going on. So our intuition guided us, like, we shouldn't be fooling with him a certain way. Like, it's a mystery with this man. And like, it was just like a crazy experience. We be knowing that about people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it be people in your family, people that you close to. It don't matter. Like, your body will guide you in situations naturally. Sometimes you can know a person need a different energy. Like, you can know somebody really sad and going through something. Nobody told you, nothing happened, but your mind and your body would just be like, I keep thinking about such and such. Let me check on them. And then they really be going through some crazy stuff. Yeah. That's how intuition be sometimes.
And I do want to speak on the difference between intuition and your ego, because sometimes it can be very easy to confuse the few. Because your ego, I feel like it's a time and a place for your ego.
Your ego's very loud.
Yes, it's a time and a place for that. Your intuition is forever. That's not going nowhere. So once you get that solid communication with your intuition and yourself, you're able to control your ego and able to only bring your ego out when it's set. Because if not, your ego will fuck you up. Your ego and your intuition will fuck you up. Like, it will battle. It will cause you to battle internally. That's why when I always be seeing people and I always be like, if they walk around angry and stuff, we always say what? They ain't angry at me. They angry with themselves. They battling with themselves because it's literally, and I say this because from experience, literally walking around arguing with yourself all day long, arguing with what you know.
Your intuition telling you something, and your ego like, motherfucker, I can't do that right now. You know,
like you can go out and say, I'm gonna be a motherfucking millionaire. And then your ego will be like, yeah, bitch, but you ain't doing nothing but working here at Burger King. You ain't gonna be able to do shit but what you doing right now. That be your, and you would think that your ego will work in your favor, but your ego is there to give you that, because I need you to see the whole realm, not just what you want to see. I need you to see what you don't want to see as well. So therefore, you got the whole pie.
You ain't got just a piece. You ain't got just the crush. You got the whole pie. So you know before you even walk into situations, and even when you don't know, it's trusting that I got the whole pie. So how can I go wrong? Taking that leap and when you try and having that intuition, when you make that solid, you got that. It makes it, like I stated earlier, it just makes it so much easier just to let go. And just let go of whether it be situations. I think I just said this earlier on my Facebook. It makes it so much easier when you listen to yourself. It makes it easier to be like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And I understand that. And I'm okay with that. And I'm comfortable with whatever comes next. I don't know what's coming next, but I'm comfortable with that. Because I know it's going to be better for me. I don't care about the material. I don't care about the perception and the matrix of it. I just care about me being able to get to the next step of my journey. So if I hold that and I keep listening to that, then I'm going to always be good. It don't matter if I can step through fire, I'm going to always be good. I'm going to still come through. You're going to see me walking on through the little fire like you see people walking on the rocks and shit. If I trust myself enough that I can get across this, I'm going to walk across it. Mm-hmm. Period.
Because your intuition is like, it's not the answer, it's your answer.
And for me, that is the answer.
It's the answer.
That is
it's
my answer. Is your answer. Exactly. And when
it's
you
not
start
the answer for everyone else.
It ties it all and ties into your boundaries. It ties into your discernment. It ties into everything. So when I'm not stepping for T. I'm not stepping for Nate. I'm stepping for Marissa. I'm stepping for big risk. That's why I call myself big risk, because when I step, I do step. And I do make very just profound.
Big risk, slim as hell.
I do. And it's like, it took me a long time to really understand that, like, you just don't make like swift transformations. Like when you transform, you really just, this is what we doing. Okay, I got it now. I might have been a little blurry. I might have had a little, you know what I'm saying? I might have hit my bumpers, but I'm moving straight now. So I'm good. So now that and when you have that, others will feel that. They be like, okay, and they'll trust that. They be like, okay, well, you seem to know that you know what you got going. Okay, then I'm do that. I had to do that earlier with my dad. He called me. He didn't know what was going on with me. I don't care that you don't know what's going on. I know what's going on.
Right.
And I said, I'm fine. I said, and he was like, I'm fine. As long as I'm fine.
You need to be fine.
You gotta be all right. You gotta be all right with me being fine. This is what I need, and then this is what I don't need. And it's no gray area. Like, I'm able to be very clear and very vocal, all because I decided to listen to myself. Right. So when you open that up and you open your intuition, it makes things a lot calmer. It makes, even when the tides is still moving, your boat is just
your peace in your storm
going right on across the way, because I'm okay. Yeah, it's a damn storm right here, but we gliding through. I ain't wet.
Very important to understand.
I ain't wet. That's why I'm like, I'm not wet. Yeah, my boat might be a little wet. It's a little messy. I might have to clean it up once we get to land, but I ain't wet. So I feel like your intuition is also like, it's like your blanket. It's your security. It's your protection. It's like, if you start to cultivate that and start to actually like think like that, like and start to protect it and treat it as it's such a powerful thing, a golden thing to just you appreciate it more. You appreciate the things that happen in your life a whole lot more. Like you appreciate quitting a job, or you appreciate the pain that we were trained to take and hinder us. You appreciate those and just be like, okay, I can take that, and take it in stride too.
You'll learn some of your lessons faster. If you follow your intuition, you won't have to go through something the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time, because when you knew the first time and you trusted yourself and you acted on it, you don't have to keep learning that lesson. That's why we be having to learn so many lessons in life, because we don't listen to ourselves the first time. Like literally the first time. If, like you said, with the job, leaving it. If it's a man, leaving it. If that's what you got to do. If it's taking a mental health day away from everything else around you just to breathe, because you know you're building up a lot of steam and you don't want to let that energy off into the world, then take that mental health day. Like, sometimes we don't be giving ourselves enough grace just to get in touch with ourselves and see how we really feeling and thinking. So everything that comes our way, we thinking too many thoughts, and you don't even know what your first thought is because you ain't had time to debrief from everything else around you. That's why it's good to literally take time away from your phone sometimes. And it be hard as fuck because people depend on their phone for everything. But take time away from your phone sometimes. Get in a book. Not just any book. Don't get into a book because you think, if I read this type of book, I'm going to be smart. Get into a book for you. If your intuition driving you to go get an old school Zane book, and that's what the energy you need, then go get that book because that might do something different from you than a book about, I don't know, birds and bees. The fuck? No good example. But follow what's for you. You can't try to do the trend at the time. If everybody reading a certain type of book and you like, well, I need a book to read. Don't get that shit if that don't resonate with you. Get the one that's calling to you because that's the book you need. And when you talk about like really interacting with people, if you dependent on other people, like your social relationships, it'd be hard for you to follow your intuition because sometimes you do be following the next person's intuition, like such and such a respond like this, but such and such a respond like that. You can't always do that. You have to know what's literally in your purpose.
I feel like some of your best relationships, whether it be relationships, friendships, work relationships, relationships that you meet with the cashier at the grocery store, that all depends on you, your intuition and your intention and how you move in it. Because if you're moving in a certain way and you're moving off your intuition and if your intuition is pure, so that right there alone gives you the good intention because it's pure. It's pure as shit. You can be in a grocery store. That's why when you was speaking earlier and you had got deep into it, and I wanted to say it could be so much simple as you being in a grocery store picking up a cucumber and they said, "No, I'll put that back down and get this one right here."
Yeah,
it'd be something simple like that.
And you don't necessarily know why. Like you don't know why. You ain't gonna question it though. You just that one. That one.
Nah, I'm gonna get that one.
Or going to a certain grocery store. Like if you. Oh, y'all remember that time I told y'all I went to that one fucking Kroger way down 460 just because? And I had a great time in there. But intuitively, that's not my grocery store. When I get in the car, I'm going to go to that Kroger. But that Kroger gives me a different energy and I want to go there. I'm exposed to new things there. Right. So it makes me want to go there. So now that I know that that's another option, I can put healthier things in my life because I'm always saying I want to adjust my diet, but I don't want to try a million stores. I just want to go to Kroger. Like, I want to go to Kroger and Target and Walmart every now and then.
I just want to go to Kroger, period.
Not Food Line. You just want to go to Kroger.
Food Line be too much sometimes. Yeah, but the people in there are friendly, and it's actually people in there. That's one thing I can say about food. Follow intuition. If you don't want to go into a grocery store, you got to do everything yourself. If you want friendly interventions, go to Target and go to Food Line because sometimes when you do go out and you do your little errands and shit, you do be wanting other energy because you might be debriefing from life. That don't mean you want to be by yourself. You might just need that friendly high from a stranger. Mm-hmm. That lady that's pushing her cart up at the same time as yours and y'all say some shit that's going to stick with you for 2 weeks for no reason. Like, sometimes you be needing that. So go to stores that suit that. Go to places in your everyday life that suit the energies that you need in your everyday life. And then more things will continue to find you and come to you. I feel like intuition be that sometimes too. Things literally be finding you. We don't find everything. Things be finding us sometimes too because it was meant for us at that time because our intuition guided us somewhere.
Exactly.
Period. I really feel
definitely. And you don't owe anybody an explanation for moving how you need to move. And that's something that we have to remember, that even when following your intuition, that don't mean that the outcome gonna be what you picture it to be or what everybody else wants it to be, or that doesn't mean that people are not going to like chastise you or question what you're doing and why you decided to make that decision. That doesn't fucking matter because you don't owe that explanation to anybody but yourself. And a lot of times we be like, so, and what makes me think, like y'all were just saying things, like I said, I ain't got no notes, but when y'all was talking about just doing what is for you, right? So you see Shaniqua out here, she starts a business.
Disregard knows Shaniqua personally, just Shaniqua.
Oh my God, I've been making up names the whole time.
The first one was out there though.
Because that is your name. But if your name Twaniqua or Twakondeja, what you say?
Disregard
Twaniqua.
If it makes you feel away.
But it's no disrespect to anybody. Okay, so let me just say Sarah. So your name's Sarah, and Sarah opens up a lash boutique or whatever, okay? You see Sarah over there making money. So you like, shit, I'm about to open me up a little lash boutique. But in your heart, you don't even know nothing about lashes, or you not passionate even about that. You really want to like cook, or you really want to make clothes, or you really want to crochet, or you really want to whatever. When you be, you don't owe anybody an explanation. Even though Sarah opened up a lash company, right? And she's making thousands of dollars a month. And you say, I'm going to open up my crochet business. And your first month, you only made $100. It doesn't matter. And you still don't owe nobody no explanation as to why you decided to do what you decided to do. Because guess what? 3 years from now, a year from now, 5 months, 6 months from now, okay? Sarah's business could go down the motherfucking drain. You never know. She might have fucked up, got some glue in somebody's eye. Now people not fucking with Sarah. But you, on the other hand, in that meantime, you done got new patterns, you done learn new techniques, you done learn new ways to do the craft that you really passionate about doing, because that's what happens when you're really passionate about something. You gonna keep learning. You're not just gonna stay at just knowing how to do it. You're gonna try to perfect it when you really, really fuck with something. So when you start getting better and better and better at your craft and your shit starts popping off, you're gonna understand that it was literally for you and you trusted yourself. So you don't owe anybody any explanation for why you decide to do what you decide to do. That is literally a principle of using your intuition. That I am trusting myself and I am trusting the universe and I am trusting God, and I don't gotta trust nobody else but that.
Common phrase that we always say is, what's meant for me is for me. It don't matter when it come, when it came. It don't matter. What's for you is always for you. Whether it's
who
your
got it first,
soulmate,
none of that.
Whether it's your kids, whether it's that job, whether it's money, because money ain't always for you. Realistically, everybody want money. Intuitively, we think that that's what we want to make us happy and what is going to make us whole. It is not always true. What's for you is for you. And if you don't know yet, you going to find it, but you got to trust you. What was that I said to you about walking on faith? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to walk on faith, and you might not even be walking on faith for that fucking long before you figure out what is for you.
Just because you stepped out there, boom, there was the net. You didn't see it. It's like the Fool card. You know, I'm a tarot reader. I'm going to go there. Mm-hmm. The Fool card. That's really about, like, just trusting and doing what the fuck you feel like you need to do. And stop worrying about what's there and what's not there. If you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to walk out on this edge. I'm just going to step out on this edge. You don't see no net underneath you. But guess what? When you step out, something triggers the net to appear. And you're good. But you wouldn't, it's like a trap door. You wouldn't have never known it was there had you not stepped out. Had you not took that step and triggered that response, you wouldn't have never even known it was there.
And if people is the reason why you question, like, your intuition, like, whether it's your parents, a lot of times our parents be our first doubt of why we don't do some shit. Yes. So shit that you really want to do or you care about, your parents be the first person to put that shit in your head. Maybe you should think about that. But why? I really want to do it. Your parents, the person that you're in a relationship with or dating, and you share your ideas and your goals with them, and they question it or doubt it, or even your parenting style. Conflict. Intuitively, that if people make you doubt what you have going on, then maybe you have to take a moment back from them specifically so you can see shit clearly on your own. And also remembering that who's meant to be there on the other side for you will be, after whatever decision you make. It don't matter what it is. Like, if it's some serious stuff that might impact relationships because it's your choice for you, then you still have to make that choice for you. And who's meant to be there after you make that choice will be there every time.
Right? And work on identifying who those people are that you can go to and talk to with no judgment, because you cannot share everything with everybody.
That's why, get off of me, because I was about to say, now, with your intuition,
you can't.
Sometimes your intuition will tell you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you can't share everything with everybody.
It will tell I feel like once I really stepped deep into my intuition, that's when I became more private as spiritually, like as a person. Like I didn't feel the need to
Protecting
share
yourself.
everything because you're not gonna understand because it ain't for you. It's for me to understand. It's like this is the what Tim said. This is the piece that my piece ain't your piece. Like my journey ain't your journey. It's not the same. So sometimes, like, I'm not saying that to hoard everything that I know, but it's just like me recognizing and me trusting myself. Okay, I can share this with y'all. Okay, no, this is something for you. This is something that I need you to share, to keep within you, because this is for your healing. Now, what you sharing, this might help somebody else in their healing or in their journey, but this right here, this is just for you. I need you to. And sometimes I feel like as people, especially me, women do this too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we speak before the blessing. We see the blessing, we smell it, we can almost touch it, but then we'll speak on it and we'll tell someone, not knowing that blessing was not meant for me to tell you. It was meant for me just to hold on to it and enjoy it and receive it. And once I was able to receive it and understand it and be appreciative of it and give gratitude for it, then I can share it with y'all. Then I can, because I feel like when we share things before, it's before the birth, before it takes off, we'll hinder it.
I believe
we'll slow it back. We'll push it back another six months, or we push it back a couple of days, or we'll push it back and we'll be standing in our own way. Intuition and ego is standing in your way. Intuition is letting everything just guide itself and just trusting that what I'm walking right now in the present, I'm gonna be okay in the future.
Right. That's the key, trusting it.
And what she just said, she said some stuff that really resonated to me when it came to your Sunday sessions, when you go live and you talk with the people. For one, it made me think of that session that I got on, and it was about grieving, and it was just me and you. And I was like, T, just wait a little bit. Let's see if anybody else is going to come. This is weird. But clearly, intuitively, I needed that, because I be missing weeks. And I don't know what I miss on those weeks unless I get on and catch up. But I feel like every time I really needed to be there, I've been there. Like, for me, like, if I need to be there, I'm there. But then at the same time, intuitively with you, when you were just sharing so much knowledge with Sands, and then outside of Sands is the page that we used to have. It's still up, but we don't really do anything in it. It's still up. Knowledge. It's closed.
It's closed. The door is closed.
But the old content is still there. All the education and the knowledge that you were sharing,
it's still there.
It was times when I used to tell you, like, T, you might not know why you're doing this, or sometimes I don't know if you know that you're appreciated, but you helping somebody, your intentions is good. And even if you change your audience, the message that you have for whoever, they will be there. Like, that's always what I used to tell you. Like,
period.
Because I truly believe that when we have messages and things for people, they gonna get them when they're meant to get them. Who's meant to get them will get them.
What you just said earlier? What is meant for you will be meant for you.
Always.
What is meant for you is me. What? Like you was just saying, you going to that Kroger's, that was meant for you to go to that Kroger's, because the universe wanted you to see that there's more options and it's more Kroger's that can provide you different things. You want to shop at just Kroger's? Okay, well, let's look at this Kroger's over here.
And I ran into a 4th grade teacher that I worked with at my old school. I forgot that happened. It was meant for me to go there that day. And she told me anytime I need to talk to her, any knowledge, I'm a 4th grade teacher, near my first year. She said, why you ain't called me? Older black lady, respect her, love her to death. As a matter of fact,
so that was the reason why you went.
And
then so trust yourself, you got what you need.
I forgot all about that until you reflected on it.
And when you really start, that's your intuition. That, like, just listen, just that right there.
Just and you didn't catch it then. You didn't catch it then. You didn't catch it there. But you caught it right now. You're like, damn. So now and then you might come across someone within the next couple days, couple weeks or something, where you might have to reach out to her. And you done seen her, and so and then. Who said this is intuition? I'm bringing you a reminder, because that's something you probably forgot. You probably was sitting.
I did. I forgot.
So now that's a reminder that I do have a resource. I have a resource to, other than the ones that I have for myself. This is another one that's been provided to me by my intuition, by me just listening.
Everything happens for a reason.
Period. Intuition is Ashe.
I feel like when you really start listening to yourself, that's your ashe. That's when you come into. That's when you start understanding why the hell you here.
That's why that was my exact words when you posted that post about your interview and your blessings, because everything that you said was gonna happen happened. Yeah. All you had to do was plant the seed.
And it was crazy because when I had got my new job that I have now, I literally when I was filling out the applications, that was the only place I saw myself in. Like I can see myself. I saw myself doing stuff in there, and I'm like, okay. And then like when I went for the interview, instead I was like, she told me 3 times. She said, and I paid attention to that. I was like, she told me, and I told my dad that. I said, she told me 3 times that she was gonna call me before the end of the day. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm not gonna wait for it, but I was kind of like, is she gonna call me? Is she gonna call me? And that's like once 5 o'clock hit, I'm like, well, that's like, wrapping up the end of the day. So I'm like, okay, 6:30, she had called me and she was like, I just want to let you know, we just want to offer you a job. We just want you to go ahead and do this. And I was just like, and then I sat there and I remember it was my grandma's birthday. That's to me paying attention to stuff like that. I knew that it's you being comfortable with the transition and the change. And that's something for myself. I've never been comfortable with change. So it's like me understanding that it's okay for things, whatever you might see, and I've seen these messages for the last couple of weeks. Whatever you might see, like whatever you might see, you might think like this is gonna be a disaster. But when you really just like, okay, this is not a disaster. This is just a reroute. I'm still going on the path that I gotta go to, but I just need to reroute it in a certain way, and I'm redoing it differently now because I'm not the same person I was when I made that plan. I've elevated, I've grown, and that's another thing I feel like we gotta recognize, that you can set a goal for yourself and that person might not be the same goal when you get to the end. You might have to change, you evolve, you learn things, you go through things, trial and error. So when you start to really realize that you like, this is another form of elevation.
And that adjusts your intuition too. Like
it allowed me to be comfortable with, you're about to move into a space that you've never been into. Like, even though it's this small, to me, it's really, really big because it's going to open up a door to me so I can step into another side, so I can add this to what I already got, so then I can have even more. So I'm not even looking at it I'm looking at the bigger picture of it. So I'm like, this little right now, it might look little to somebody else, but this is huge for me. So it's like, this is something completely different. I'm stepping into a whole different era of the matrix I've never been in. I've always been in one part for a long, long time. So me stepping into a different, not only am I going to have different situations, I'm going to get a chance to learn different things about myself that I didn't know because I was all in this structure of a matrix. So let me change the dynamic. Let me change the flow, change my perception on it,
So the full moon was yesterday, and even though it was called the worm moon, but even though this is not a worm, I'm thinking of something that moves like a worm, which would be a snake. And when you were saying exactly what you were saying, the intuition would be, a snake doesn't question why it needs to shed its skin. It just knows this doesn't serve me anymore. It just knows I have to literally get out of this because I have outgrown it. It does not even suit me anymore.
And they just leave it where the fuck it is.
And they just shed it and they leave it there.
And they keep going.
And it might look like something small to us. When you see the shape, the snake skin, you might see that it's like, it's just like these little pieces of whatever. That might seem small. But think about how scary that is to shed everything that you know to be.
And then think about how painful that is.
And be into something that's brand new to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know that it is exactly for you. And if you want to, if you ever question what is intuition, or you need something to help you understand what that is, think about that maybe. Think about a snake. Think about learning. You can learn from anything. You can learn from anything. So think about a snake and how it doesn't question that. A butterfly doesn't question why it has, a caterpillar doesn't question why it has to go into a cocoon for all this time. It doesn't question why it has to sit there and build this and do all this work and do all of that. It doesn't question what's even going to happen. What's going to happen when I go inside of there? I don't know. But I know that something is telling me that this is what I have to do. So because of that, trusting your intuition, you come out on the other side as the butterfly.
Intuitively, I knew that drink did not.
Intuitively, I knew that was too.
It's okay. It's the end anyway. We got to wrap up and then I'm going to clean up. But
I don't even know what drink it was.
that's a beautiful thing to end on, I think. Remember the caterpillar and the butterfly. If you ever want to have something to just remember what intuition is, or you just kind of need a little pick-me-up or something to inspire you to trust yourself, it's okay to be the caterpillar because you're going to come out as the butterfly.
Another quick thing you can really do, and this is what I did it earlier today. If you have Spotify, Apple Music or whatever, or if you have an Apple, ask Siri to play a song that you would love. Or play a song, or play some.
Because it's a song that you played before.
Oh, it's a song, and then pay attention, like you stated earlier. Pay attention to the things that you come into, and just the words, the lyrics. If what you watching on TV, you might hear something like a 5-minute something. You like, what's that talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
That's your intuition. They talking to you. Catch that.
Yeah. Songs, signs, symbols, dreams. Definitely pay attention to all of those. Those things guide you. And one thing I was going to say.
And your kids. If you got kids, pay attention to what they're saying to you.
Yes. Definitely. Even if you don't got kids, pay attention to what other people's kids are saying, because the kids are knowledge. I said that before. I feel like one thing that we've touched on a few times throughout this session in different ways is nature. We've said things pertaining to nature. So intuitively, I feel like we are telling y'all to ground and connect with nature more, because when you connect with nature, you connect with you. You are nature.
And let me tell you something so simple, because I don't live, I have an apartment, so I don't have area. Something as simple as taking my trash out with my shoes off and hitting that grass. Something simple as that can be something, my body touching nature. Something simple as me going and sitting on my porch for a couple minutes. Something just anything that
Smoke your blunt outside.
Yeah, breathe the air in. Look at the
Smoke your cigarette outside. Drink your wine outside. Whatever. Do it outside. Right.
Rearrange the rocks around your little garden area.
Don't get your kids off the bus.
Go a little earlier. Walk outside a little earlier so you can
don't drive to the bus stop if it's close by. Walk. Because people drive to the bus stop. That's extra little air energy, giving yourself time to breathe. Yeah.
Period.
This is
we got here last
beautiful.
Year. This
episode 5.
This was a bomb episode. This is probably my favorite. I said that last week, but I think this one was
so maybe favorite. Every week you'll just keep getting another favorite.
That's my favorite.
And then also, I'm so glad. Every episode is my favorite, but next week is really my favorite because
what are we talking about?
Codependency.
And
I feel like
that's your intro week.
Woo! God. And the reason why I say that because and it's a good topic, because you definitely need your intuition when it comes to codependency and really recognizing when you in a situation of that, because
is this helping me or not helping me?
And then the thing about it, because it is what we always say,
it's she gonna try to drink the rest of the wine from out the glass.
Because it's an even exchange. She didn't waste some, so she got to drink some.
Intuitively, I knew that I did not need to finish this before we were done. Y'all know I know me. Yeah, so now that we're about over by y'all, y'all see, I get to finish your wine. Because if I finish it first, we not gonna be here in the same way. I'm gonna be like, hey.
We love y'all. Catch us next week.
Bye.
Deuces.
See ya.
Bitch.